Hello, welcome back to Tarot by Andy. Thank you for being here. This is my vibrational reading. Please do your own research for entertainment purposes and allegedly. Hello, you guys. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, people are telling me that yesterday's spread, I was like quite on fire. Yes, I was. I got myself so worked up, I had to lay down because I got a little vertigo. Yeah. Today, my daughter, son-in-law, and husband are skiing, but I stayed back because I'm having a little bit of issues from the barometric pressure because 10 degrees dropped here, and that affects Meniere's patients. So yeah, I have to be real careful with myself in the next few days with the shift in weather. On top of the fact there's stress of Christmas, and absolutely everybody's coming here, and I have a whole house to clean on top of a few other errands. So yeah, Christmas, it's getting here, you guys. All right, so I have something to drop on you that's kind of interesting. I try to stay on top of the study of narcissism since it's my passion. Very interesting information that is debunking a lot of previous notions. So I'm going to drop this on you. So be patient with me. Guess what? It is not caused by drama, neglect, childhood wounds. Boom! It is not what it is. That is not what causes NPD. Experts who treat narcissists are saying it is in the DNA just as much as physical traits. How is that for a stinger? That is quite a stinger. Anyways, carrying on. They can notice it in toddlers. Okay, so they can spot it because there's a shallow detachment that's seen in the child when around others. Okay. In order to fix a person with narcissism, you need an emotional connection to fix it. They don't have that emotional connection. They're that Four of Cups, okay? Completely detached and aloof. I've kind of labeled the Four of Cups as my psychopath card, but I guess I should probably label that as my narcissist card too, because it starts that Four of Cups in toddler years, okay? Let that sink in. Anyways, there's a lot to it here. A normal person in psychotherapy would have a difficult time expressing themselves emotionally, is what therapists found. But the narcissist comes in very, very shallow and detached, and they just give little bits and pieces of themselves. They don't go all in. So they're holding back. There's that detachment, and that's been recognized and noticed by therapists of NPD. A normal person would have difficulty, and the emotions would flood out. And they would have this internal conflict of saying things out loud that they need to express. They would mentally fall apart. Not the narcissist patient. Okay, the narcissist patient is more cool, calm. It's been described as they'll put in an arm or a leg, but they won't put their whole self in. They'll just give bits and pieces, and it's incredibly vague. So this was the first thing that they noticed, okay, by psychiatrists and psychologists. Anyways, here we go. I'm looking at my notes here, so patience here. They just don't want you to see all of them, okay? So when, since they lack empathy and accountability, they always want to get back into that shared fantasy, as we know. So there's that impression management that they have. So, that's why they're so vague. They just want to go back into fantasy really quickly. Anyways, they simply don't want you to understand them. They will say the important words, but there's no depth to the stories. Back to being vague and detached. They're lacking traits, okay? They're lacking traits such as the ability to collaborate, being agreeable, being sensitive enough. There's this deficiency there. And it's not because they weren't loved when they were children, okay? Get that straight. They become mystified by our issues with them. That's back to detachment, lack of emotional empathy, back to low emotional growth, back to low emotional IQ. They might feel shame briefly when called out, but it's not true shame. It's really just some distress in them because it's more like, oh, darn it, you busted me. I didn't want you to see that. Darn it, you saw that. Ego defense kicks in. It's more of a lack of a conscience versus shame is what they're actually recognizing. Now they know, oops, this isn't shame. This is a lack of a conscience, okay? So basically they have trait deficiencies and trait overcompensation. Those trait deficiencies are the positive good traits: empathy, love, connection, getting along, being agreeable, being compatible with others instead of combative, okay? They're the opposite, okay? And then the overcompensation is the negative traits: the paranoia, the overinflated self, having to win, combative, argumentative, gotta win, shallow, arguments, battle of the egos, creating drama, chaos, arguments. That's that overcompensation. When they feel bad, they only feel bad for themselves. It's truly grandiosity and not shame-based. They're truly empty inside, and they can't say, I feel so guilty, so it's not shame. They don't feel guilt, so there's no shame. So they're really debunking this entire thing that everybody's talking about on YouTube. It's not so. So I've been saying it myself: shame avoidance, shame avoidance. I guess I have to rename my Five of Pentacles when it applies to a narcissist. Now, that would be a neurotypical would have shame avoidance. But when I'm doing a narcissist spread, when I see Five of Pentacles, which is my shame avoidance card, I'm going to have to reword myself that it's a lack of conscience. Actually, when I see a Five of Pentacles, when I'm doing a narcissist, such as Megan, okay, or J-Lo, or P. Diddy, and the likes of them, all right? So anyways, they can't admit guilt, so how can they admit shame to themselves? They simply don't. So really, it's trying to avoid their lack of a conscience is really what they're trying to do. So since they have that psychological detachment from the world, this emptiness in the narcissist, they just won't allow themselves to relate. It's just simply not in their toolkit, they say, and that there's less in them than what meets the eye. So it goes back to the completely empty core, kind of like what that fun little cartoon did of Megan, where they opened up the head and looked in, and whoop, there was nothing inside. It was completely empty. That's it, okay? It's almost like they're lacking human traits, okay? They don't like saying that. The therapists hate using that word. They sort of gingerly say this. So anyways, through that lack of substance and a lack of core, that's why they feel fragile. But it's only for the image, okay? Only for the image. So it's not like someone who has empathy that can actually truly suffer from loss and have difficulty expressing it, all right? They just don't. Okay, it's an addiction to fantasy. As we know, they're very fantasy driven. So, and they do it day to day to day. It's a whole idolization thing of themselves. And you are supposed to be a certain way. They create a caricature for you. They do this snapshot image in their brain. Okay, this person is going to do this for me and this for me and this for me. And they're going to live up to all this, what I need. You're going to do this. And I'm going to create this caricature of yourself, of a better version that suits for me. And you're supposed to play it out in my little movie, my fantasy. And then when they don't, that's when they detach, and that's when they discard. It's because you didn't live up to the fantasy. I've talked about this before, so that still is the same. But it's basically boils down to an idolized reflection of themselves that they're seeking. So they want you to mirror them, their fantasy of how they create for themselves. So you're to mirror me. Mirroring is, just FYI, if you see someone mirroring you and copying you, like your style, your sense of self, you buy some decor, then they have to go out and buy the same thing, or you bought this dress and now all of a sudden they got to dress like you. Mirroring, this is where a lot of people screw up, you guys. This is where a lot of people end up getting more hurt by a friend or someone who's doing this mirroring of you. That's part of that worship that they do. That is not a compliment. This is where a lot of people screw up on social media, say, oh, well, them copying you is flattery. It's flattering. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's hatred. It's absolute hatred. A narcissist wants to take your good traits and then erase you by mirroring you and taking things from you, what you like, the things you do. That is sheer hatred and contempt for you. It is the pathway to erasing you, okay? It is not a compliment when someone mirrors you, your likes, your dislikes, the things you buy and purchase and put on your body or your home or what you drive. It's not flattery, okay? It's sheer hatred, because the next step is to erase you, dominate you, lower your confidence, take you down, and then push you aside, okay? So do not ever expect mirroring as, oh, wow, they must really like me. They respect me and they think I'm wonderful. No, don't look at it that way, okay? Just stop it, okay? Got to put that out there. Carrying on here. They don't want you to understand them and why, okay? So when they get the delivery of life and reality, and the reality pill comes their way, and they go to the pharmacy, here's your reality pill, Mr. or Mrs. Narcissist, they can't digest reality because of that. That's why they have that vulnerability. It's just that vulnerability of reality, really. And so when you're not that character trait of you, that caricature that they created, all that, they got to destroy everything. So it's really taking down like a little kid trying to create a fantasy land at the beach with the sandcastle. And then when everyone doesn't go along with the fantasy, then they've got to kick the sandcastle down and make a mess of it. That would be like the Seven of Cups. That's that fantasy in the sky. That's that, castle in the sky, gaslighting card. When the gaslighting doesn't work, they got to take it all down. So that's why you see the demeaning, the devaluation, and the discard and the replacement. All this information that I just gave to you in Cliff Notes was from Dr. Peter Salerno. Okay, that's who it came from. Wonderful therapist. He's really on top of his game. I'd say he's a huge edge over others. He's quite young, and wow, do I like him. So that is the Cliff Notes for today. So anyways, that all being said, I want to cover, so what side of the family did Megan get her NPD from? How fun is that? That's a little different. Could be from both sides. Dad had some problems. Dad apparently went to Asia quite a bit and got young women and liked to have sexual pleasures and leaving Doria behind, leaving Megan as a young girl. He did those kind of crazy things. Mom, we know what mom was. Mom's got really high traits. Doria, being a drug cooker, she cooked her meth. She did it in the home, allegedly entertainment purposes, but I'm just saying that not to get sued. But then again, she'd have to prove I'm wrong. Of course, I can't prove it, but then I got input from a family member, FYI. So cooking meth, going to prison. I mean, she's a poster child of narcissism. So let's just have some fun here. Yeah, and it's just kind of getting down and dirty. Megan likes to get down and dirty, right? So, I don't know. When I'm late at night, right before I go to bed, crazy, funny stuff comes in my head when I think about my job here. And I started thinking, because I mentioned Soho House on my video with HG Tutor. And, I wanted to say this, but I didn't, I guess, because I was feeling insecure, because I'm kind of like intimidated. I should have said, well, Soho House has vagina wallpaper. So I was thinking in my head, that's what my joke is. I was thinking in my head, I wonder if they sell rolls of Soho House vagina wallpaper to gift Meghan Markle. Because then when she moves to Spain and lives down the street from Amber Heard, it would be a nice nostalgic visual memory for her. And she could put it in her entryway. I'm not sure what entryway. I don't know which entryway. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. But, it is vaginas. And it looks like flowers, but if you look closely, it's vaginas. What a nice nostalgic memory that would be from her. Yeah, I don't know. I looked to see if they were sold rolls of it. So far, I can't see it. I was going to go to Pinterest to see if they sell rolls of vagina wallpaper for Megan. That would be funny if people sent her rolls of vagina wallpaper. Oh, yes, that's my little mean side. Okay, let's get on. NPD, Megan, the dirty girl. She's such a dirty girl. Dirty girl Megan. All right, where did she get her dirtiness from, huh? Which DNA? Who did she get it from most? I'm going to use my pendulum first, yes. Here we go. Fun stuff. Okay, let's see. Can you see it? Yes, you can. All right. I'm going to stop it first. All right. Did Megan get her narcissism mainly from Mr. Markle? Did she get her narcissism mainly from Mr. Markle, from her father? Did Megan get her narcissism from her father mainly? Did it mainly come from her father's side? Her father. Did she get her NPD from her father? No. No. Did she mainly get her NPD from her mother? Ooh, yes, there it is. There it is. All right, the bad seed apple rolled not too far, so it's coming from her mom's side. Go figure. That's why mom was perfectly mirroring her, and mom was mirroring Megan, and that's why Megan was invited to the wedding and not her father. Now you know why. She wants that mirroring, that perfect mirror image. That's that narcissist looking in the lake. Oh, I love myself. So mom is the one who perfectly mirrors her. So that's why mom's invited. That's why mom's in her life, and dad got kicked out. Dad has some problems, but she got it mainly from her mom. So let's get some cards on this. Yeah, the puzzle just gets more and more complete, you guys. Like all those little weird pieces, you feel like you lost a corner piece of a puzzle, but then you find it across the room. That's what it feels like to me right now. Hey, I finally got that piece of puzzle. So yeah, it's pretty obvious. And yeah, because they're going to discard people who don't go along with the caricature. And dad just was too difficult. Dad was probably has his own sense of self. When you have your own sense of self, I have to touch on this. You've got to have your own sense of self. That's that protection against the enmeshment, because you think for yourself, you can have your own opinion. When you pull back on mirroring them and you're like, no, I got my mind made up. I know who I am. I know what my thoughts are, and I'm not bending. That doesn't serve the narcissist. So that would be more her father. That's why she had to throw him down and make him look like a toxic asshole, because he wasn't playing the caricature she needed. So he probably corrected her. He probably said, Megan, maybe you shouldn't do this. Megan, I'm a little more concerned about you, Megan. Well, to hell with you. I'm throwing you down. How dare you question my fantasy? So that's why that happened. It's not saying he's perfect. He's not. I know a lot of people have negative things to say about him, but he's not nearly as bad as the mother. He was there. He was very loyal. He was very involved, okay? Now, we can't say that about Doria. Doria was AWOL, okay? Doria was doing like what Harry's doing to his invisible kids right now. Unavailable, detached. Harry's got very high NPD traits. So let's get some Megan and Doria here. Megan and Doria mirroring each other. And then when Megan feels that Doria's not in line, we've seen the videos of when Doria's not in line, Megan will shoot at her this evil glare like, get yourself back in place, mother. How dare you? It's just that eyeball stared look of intimidation and control. You better get back in place. That is like her pointing a finger at her mother like, but doing it with their eyeballs, no words needed, and a lot of times in those relationships, maybe they'll pinch their mate from under the table if they're at the dining. They'll pinch and squeeze it, or they'll kick them or touch them. She does it with the touch. That touch is the control, as we know. That's why she uses the claw. So let's get some energy on the mothers, the shared DNA of narcissism. The shared DNA of narcissism. So where are they heading? I suppose that's what I should ask, because we know what this is. Where is this relationship heading? It depends on if Doria wants to keep mirroring and doing the fantasy, going along with whatever recreation that Megan sets up. And then Doria has to agree to it without question. She's just got to be like, okay, I'll put on my blinders and I'm going to say, yes, Megan, I got on my rose-tinted glasses for you, Megan. Do you have your rose-tinted glasses on? Let's both put them on, because we don't like the shining light of the sun and the stars, because we don't want to see the truth. That's how she has to play it. Otherwise, she's out. So if Doria wants to stay in, she's got to keep up the caricature that Megan created. So let's find out. Where's this relationship heading? Where's this relationship heading? Where is this relationship heading? Oh, there we go. It's slowing way down. It's hate bomb. The 8 of Wands in reverse. It's a lot of negative. It's a failure. They're not liking each other. They're on the hate mode right now. Communication shut down. We haven't seen her out in public, so there's no PR of Doria. It's really, it's not even delayed. It's kind of coming to a stop. They're saying no to each other, because 8 of Wands in reverse is a no position. they're not traveling or taking journeys together. It's almost like their journey is stalled and slowed way down. At first, there was like this overnight success. She highlighted her mom. She brought her to the wedding. Mom looked like, God, absolute duper's delight sitting there, okay? That was her little duper's delight. She knew exactly, because she was marrying her daughter. She knew what her daughter was going to do. And she knew she was going to grow with her daughter through communication. And they thought they can overcome all obstacles by making this fast wedding, by pretending to be pregnant and then going, oops, I had a miscarriage, Harry. That's, oh, we bumped off Eugenie's wedding for ours and I just had a miscarriage. I'm so sorry. Oh, we need a surrogate now. So mom went along with all of this BS, and so now it's slowing down. All events are slowing down. She's not going to really invite her to events, just really not communicating. It's really a shutdown. It's a communication card, and they're shut down. So they're kind of hating on each other. So right now, it's that devaluation. I think I want to discard you energy is what this is. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, you're lower than me. You're not as high up as me. I don't really care about you. Hierophant in reverse. So with the Hierophant in reverse is basically a breakup. They're sort of broken up right now. Hating each other, broken up. They're not accepting into the family. So right now, they're so angry with each other, they're not even playing family members. I don't need you to watch kids because I don't have any kids. And there's no ceremonial energy going on. So she's kind of regretting bringing her to the wedding. Maybe Doria said something. Well, that didn't go well. You screwed this one up, Megan. So that would be enough to deem Doria getting her ass kicked out the door. I'm not talking to you. You're not my family member anyway. Who are you? You're not high enough. You're not elevated enough. You're not high up on the hierarchy like me. I don't approve of you. You're beneath me, Mom. So Doria's beneath Megan. Megan is the boss. You must mirror me. You don't, you're out. So she's out. She's completely out right now. Challenging position with this relationship. Oh, we got our dark plan. Yeah, she was part of the dark plan, you guys. Yeah. It's also, I want you to slave away for me. Forced labor. Forced labor created a burnout for her. And it's total manipulation, and Doria gave up on it. I don't want your game plan anymore. I'm backing out. The game plan's up, too. They don't have much. So they thought that they could make a living out of it. Out of a dark plan, but the dark plan's falling apart. The challenge is to come up with another dark plan to get her mom back in and say, okay, I'll do it with you. Let's talk about it. Oh yeah, I'll elevate myself and listen to you, wise elder. No, that's not going to happen. So they have a problem coming up with another dark plan. She's aware of the dark plans. Focal point for Doria and Megan. Ooh, I'm going to just take it from here and then go around, okay? Because it's just too many. Okay, so what we have here is be careful what you say to me, Mom, because I can hurt you and I really don't care. Do you want to recover this and heal this or not? You better be careful. They're having a lot of arguments and fights and triangulation, and it's a 3 in reverse. So with that 3 in reverse, there's no growth and expansion. We have nothing to talk about right now, but you better be careful what you say. Do not talk about our dark plans. I hate you, and I will try and be patient with you. I can cut you out at any point in time with the King of Swords in reverse. You better be careful what you say to me. I can cut you out. I can do the judge, jury, executioner on you, and I can lawyer up against you. Be careful. I'm going to argue with you. You better go in peace. I took you down, and you know what? I don't care. It's over. It's the end of the adventure for the two of us. Let's deny. Let's deny the dark plans of what we chose to do, which was lie, lie, lie with the King of Swords in reverse. Just mental exhaustion here of corruption, con artistry, and basically cruel logic, the misuse of power. And basically, I've gone stalemate on you. And we don't have anything right now on the table for us to do. So let's pretend we're peaceful. Let's pretend that we're gracious. Let's pretend that we have strength. Let's pretend that we're still together. But Doria, in the meantime, is feeling quite histrionic with the Queen of Cups in reverse. You're smothering me, Mother, you smothering woman. You need therapy. You need therapy. They both need therapy. It's the escort card, too. Speaking of Soho House, Soho, ho, ho, ho. Maybe Doria said, you need therapy. You were a Soho ho, along with escort, yacht girl, Epstein trial girl didn't work out because, they didn't like her. Too old, too political, too right, too combative, too not agreeable enough to be on that ship. So now they're in this position of manipulating each other. It's the damsel in distress in my histrionic energy of, I'm falling apart. So they're not very quiet. They're kind of getting really emotionally loud. They're only self-focused. They feel like they're falling apart. You don't love me. I have no self-worth. I'm falling apart. So that's that emotional vulnerability that I was talking about, of the trauma actually of the narc brain. It's that emotional detachment with that Queen of Cups in reverse, which creates that high histrionic vulnerability of being a damsel in distress and needing therapy and very moody in a very deep, dark depression. Let's carry on. Outside influences. Well, that flipped. Ooh, I'm rejecting you right now. I don't need to see you. Timing is bad right now. Maybe later. So rejecting each other. And they lack the willpower or the initiative to start anything new because they don't know what dark plan to do next. They're totally involved in dark plans. And they're doing dark plans against the royal family to take down the royal family. So be careful what you say, because we were trying to take down the royal family and cause them to crash down. We rejected the royal family, but we're going to claim they rejected us because I was an escort. They had to hide that. They were going to reject her if they knew she was an escort, if they knew that she was a Soho, or if they knew that she was an Epstein girl. She would have totally been rejected, and she knows she would have been rejected, which would have been a huge emotional pain. So this is why she wanted to get some sort of healing energy for her, was to infiltrate through a dark plan, because she gets off on it. Let's get to the hopes and fears. That image facade. I got two of them here. Hopes and fears. Well, she fears being wounded more. She's like, I don't know if I can persevere anymore with the Nine of Wands. Maybe we can try something, but I'm feeling quite wounded here. I have to find some courage to carry on, Mom, and find a new idea, a new plan, to put it out there to see what happens. But I'm not feeling so up to it right now. There's a lot of enemies out there, Mom, with the Nine of Wands. And we both need to keep our walls up. And then maybe if I come up with an idea to create something, because it's a 3 here, maybe I can make the right move. Because so far, their dark plans have been all the wrong moves, because everyone's calling them out on social media and hating on them. This is the hating on social media. So we got to have a better plan. I got to come up with something that can be successful. I need to find something. I got to put in the prep. I need to study and research what I'm going to put out there, because they keep wounding me. I thought I persevered, but she kept putting in the wrong moves. You know that? That's why she kept getting busted. That's why she kept getting hated over her dark plans on social media. So now she's thinking, I really got to come up with something better. I really need to create something really good here. I need to make the right investment. I got to find something that I can grow and expand through my wounds. So she's probably going to end up actually growing and expanding her wounds, because this is her karma wave coming in, wounding her more. It's not in a good sense. It's in a very bad sense. This growth of more wounds is the way it's truly reading. So she's growing more wounds by the day. She's growing more paranoia by the day. I got to put up my walls. I got to put up, literally, she needs a prison. She needs to imprison herself. So this is why she needs to go to Spain and get the Soho wallpaper, and she can do it in her entryway. And, yeah, so there you go. She's growing wounds by the day. By the day, she's growing wounds. The waves are coming in, the emotional, the energy, the enthusiasm for wounding Megan is constant. There's a lot of enthusiasm into wounding Megan, which is making her more and more paranoid, which is what happens when they're left out in the cold and everyone calls them out as wearing a mask, being a low vibe disruptor, who's nobody's friend, who's a fake persona, devil energy, who's completely, utterly blocked by people and no one wants to deal with her, is just a daily wounding. Final outcome for the pair. So she sees the wounding. She probably said something, well, maybe you should stop. Oh, you're rejecting me, are you? How dare you upset me? It's over between us. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim martyr. Okay, final outcome. Final outcome. Final outcome for Doria and Megan. Final outcome for Doria and Megan. Final outcome. Headache. They're a headache to each other. Ah, she's calling me again. Oh, God, I got to deal with her again. She's antagonizing me again. Oh, all we do is fight, fight, fight. We just have this pattern of being against each other. So combative energy, not agreeable, will not back down, perseveres with their wounds, thinking they can plan something new. So that's what's happening. That is what's happening. But they're daily, the waves of wounds just keep coming. It's just like being at the ocean and every wave's coming in, just crashing her down. And enemies, enemies, get me, my bathing suit's falling off. Another wave's coming to hit me. Oh, it's just wave after wave after wave. People are on their surfboards just waving it in her. Just, here's another one for you, Megan. Here's another one for you, Doria. Here's another one. It's never ending and relentless, which is causing them to think, my God, it's war. It's absolute war, Mom. We can't back down. We can't back down. It's just a repeated issue. Doria probably said, you have this happen. Doria told her through negative commentary and a negative conversation, maybe you should shut it down. Maybe you should shut down your PR and stop promoting yourself because all you're doing is getting hated and your dark plan's not working. You need to shut it down. You need to stop now. You need to be very careful, Megan, because everyone is basically erasing you. Everyone doesn't want to hear from you. They're shutting you down. They're calling out your ignorance. They're calling out your lies. How are we going to find peace when everyone's rejecting you? Now they're rejecting me, and you're all emotional over this, and the wave of wounds keep coming in. You need to shut it down. So Doria probably had an argument over her PR campaigns, her pay for play, constantly in the press and not shutting it down, always in her face. Megan's PR is the reason why they're sort of detached right now, and they just argue. It's just absolute war. It's a repeat problem they have, and basically right now, Doria is Megan's opponent. An opponent. Not her mother, an opponent. I hope you like this. Until next time, like and subscribe. Bye, you guys.